Go ahead and call the Parish Commission workshop
Good Gerald.
to order at this time, June
Gerald
30th, 2012.
Short one.
Short one.
Where Gerald at?
I'll step out and look.
Yeah.
We don't.
I saw Ken.
Ken and Gerald.
Kim's here.
Yeah, Ken's here.
And Gerald is too. Gerald Baldwin is too.
He's here.
Commissioner Thibodeau, we'll get you to lead us in the prayer. Commissioner Williams, you can lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Yes, sir.
Whatever we get a quorum.
Yes, sir.
Take on the two. There we go.
All right.
Come on.
Mr. Hopkins, roll call at this time.
All right, Dominic, Johnson, Williams,
Here.
Lynn,
Present.
Bowman, Baker, Lynch, Escudé, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, Epperson. We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Invocation by Commissioner Thibodeau and pledge by Commissioner Williams. If we all stand, please.
Lord, we want to thank you for all the good things you give us every day. We want to thank you for the citizens of this parish and help us to make the best decisions possible for them. Ask you to touch the hearts of those that are hurting. We ask all these things in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
So please turn and face the flag, render the proper salute, and repeat after me in unity the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our next item is citizens' comments. Citizens who wish to, or excuse me,
Agenda additions.
do we have any agenda additions? See none. Next item will be citizens' comments. Citizens who wish to address the commission are required to fill out a comment card and forward it to myself or the clerk. We only have one. We have one comment card at this time. Jeffrey Jackson, is he present? Mr. Jackson? You can come on up, sir. How you doing?
All right.
Can you give us your name and address, please?
Jeffrey Dwayne Jackson, 1117 Fenwick Drive, my mother's residence.
Okay. Go ahead, sir. You got 3 minutes.
I'm the governor of governing authorities, Godhead Almighty.
Sir, I'm sorry?
I'm the governor of governing authority. I have a Bill of Rights online as far as my rights. And what I want is a mission officer to for permission to enter up on property that's always been mine. But since I discovered who I am, far as head of the body of Christ,
Yes, sir.
I haven't really had my possession, so I feel as though there's a lot of people I need to get involved with. For I mean, my Bill of Rights explains it all, and that's all I need a mission officer to.
You trying to get onto some of your property or some government property?
Government property is my property.
It's your property?
Yes, sir.
Is someone keeping you away from that property?
Officials.
Is there any parish officials that preventing you from going on any property, or that you're asking us to do something?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Wilson, do you know anything about that?
No, sir.
Where's Fenwick Drive?
Well, that's what I was.
And is that the address on your mother's property that you're giving us?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Do you have any names of anybody?
For
Any names of any parish officials that are preventing you from going onto your property?
None, no name.
Maybe, go ahead, Lynn.
Spin Drive.
Anyway,
That's in
Anyway.
Cherokee Park.
Oh, at Cherokee Park.
Oh, wait.
Okay, that's your city?
Talking.
That's all right.
Let me ask you.
Commissioner Williams, do you know
Yes, sir.
anything about this?
No, I'm not aware.
Normally, we don't ask questions, but I'm gonna allow it
Yeah.
because I don't know exactly.
I'm concerned, what's your name, sir?
Jeffrey Jackson.
He's been here before. He was here, you were here a couple of months ago, if I remember
Right.
correctly.
He sure was. I remember.
I mean, I would like you to get me after the meeting. We can discuss this matter long, into its entirety, to
Okay.
address your issue. This is the first time I heard of exactly the street where you said some government official prohibiting you from going on your land, your government land. So, I would ask that you would sit down and talk to the administration and myself after the meeting. We can get to the bottom of the situation.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Is it Jackson? I'm sorry. Yeah. All right, you can get with Commissioner Williams after the meeting. Thank you, Commissioner Williams, for helping us out. Have a good day, okay? Mr. Hopkins, do you have any more comment cards?
No, sir, I do not.
I don't have any other ones. Do we have any visitors other than Mr. Robertson?
No,
I
sir.
would request that the rules be suspended to allow Ernie Robertson to speak, so we can ask any questions. If y'all remember last month, we had some issues concerning some precincts. We asked for him to come, but he was out of town that week, so he is here today to hopefully answer any questions. Ernie, can you come up, please, and give us your name and address, and maybe you can just briefly describe give us an overview of what happened last month and how that all came about, and then we'll allow the commissioners to ask you any questions that they feel is appropriate.
I'm Ernie Robertson, Registrar of Voters, 525 Marshall. First of all, let me introduce my new Chief Deputy, Monica Pels. As many of you know, Cherry left after over 20 years in the office, and Monica just had a trial by fire. She got to put in the Shreveport City Reapportionment Plan. She has a master's degree, is a paralegal, and was an intern with Dr. Joyner, so she's well qualified for that job. I have handed out for you a kind of a handout to cover all the information for the fall, because I'm afraid I won't ever be back the way the fall's looking right now. So I went ahead and got that information for you. I'll let you know that your constituents are going to be receiving the 11,000 constituents in the city who were changed due to the city reapportionment plan will be receiving their new voter information cards beginning tomorrow, and then the rest of this week into next week we'll be mailing those out. First of all, I've got the 2014 election schedule for you. You can see all the offices that will be qualified for, and this election is November the 4th and December the 6th. You can look down here and see your last day to register to vote is listed on here as October the 6th, and then early voting is going to be October 21 through 28, but we're closed, of course, on the intervening Sunday. And then on the back side of that sheet is the 2015 schedule, which you may have a little bit more interest in. And I might want to take a look at that schedule. I don't have the close of books on there for you yet in early voting, but we'll have that after we get through this schedule. We'll have that next one ready for you. That's just some information. Then I also went ahead and put in here the current registration for you. Generally, that's asked for the Parish Commission, School Board, and also the City Council. These are the new numbers, both for the School Board and the City Council. You can take a look at those. And they're listed there, and if you need a list of precinct by precinct listing, I can drop that with Todd and make a copy for you. On the back side is just a sheet going over precincts, polling places, and 300 or less precincts, and so I'll just give you a quick view. Of course, precincts are the geographic boundaries that the Parish Commission has the authority to draw, and the people that live inside those boundaries vote at a polling place selected by the commission, and that's where the machines are placed on election day, and you give the numbers to them, and that's the designation for most of the districts. It's usually by numbers. We do have some districts, such as the judicial districts, that run on an old set of numbers, so that's part of our job, is to keep that straight with the way the districts were back then. You have the authority in that regard to move precincts, and then also obligations to notify the public, and then we have the obligation to mail them a new voter information card telling them where they go to vote. But part of this also was back in the mid-90s, the state legislature decided that whenever we finish the canvass, and that's the registrar and the secretary of state, it's our responsibility to notify the parish governing authority of any precincts that are under 300 active voters. And so we notified you back in March of that, and then you have about 60 days to put together a list of, I'll send you the list of precincts, and we also went ahead and did the work for you on getting all the reasoning put behind for all the exemptions. We've applied basically for the same exemptions for years because most of those 300 less precincts are up in the North Caddo area of the parish, and most of them are due to the fact that people drive more than 10 miles to go vote. So therefore, that is an exemption, or they live in a precinct that is wholly enclosed in one town. There was one precinct that was not that way, which was 146, 150, I believe, or 151, that IDA annexed outside of its traditional boundaries into the 146 precinct. So therefore, they no longer qualified for an exemption, and so that's why they were merged together, even though they've been consolidated before. There really wasn't much change except to erase the 150 line. I think you've already done that, or will do that after Thursday's meeting. But also, there was a question, I believe, about a precinct interior to Shreveport over in the area, and they, what would be off of Murphy Street, and that precinct goes to vote over Galilee Baptist Church because it's the closest one to them. And a lot of the voters there don't have transportation. That was the closest precinct we could find. The other choice was to walk all the way over to BTW, and that was further. And so we already had a precinct, obviously, over Galilee, and that was the closest precinct and the shortest walk. So that's why they wound up over there. That's the old, I believe, 67 precinct, if my memory's correct. But anyway, I've kind of laid out for you what happens on election day and prior to that with the responsibility of the clerk of court and registrar of voters and your responsibilities in this. And so, Mr. President, I'll ask you any questions you might
One
have.
question I had was, I know Commissioner Williams was asking about the qualifying period, and it's August 21st and 22nd. Up in the right. Is that correct? I guess it'd be that Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah,
and Friday.
August 20 through 22, and talk to the clerk's office, 226 6788 6788 Carroll.
I may hit the jackpot. You never know. I may come down at that day. I want to know.
You never
A
know.
miracle happens, Ken. God do work miracles.
Okay, Commissioner Johnson?
I had one question. That was about precinct 130, which has less than 300. And why was it still in existence when it could be merged into 135?
I think 130, and I'm working off my memory here, Commissioner. 130 is
It's the Lakeview area.
the Lakeview area.
Once you come under the trust.
I think it's just remained as it was due to the fact there is a provision in the law that if you have that situation where one precinct could be merged into another, the districts have to match. In other words, everything has to match.
Okay.
The city council, if you've got in territory, out territory, they have to match. The judicial districts, and I know some of those districts don't match, though I don't recall exactly which ones.
Okay.
And that's the reason why.
All right, thank you.
Ernie, thank you for coming
Thank
today.
you. Enjoyed it.
Have a good day, have a good weekend, and keep us apprised on anything you need to. Okay, there are no more visitors. Mr. Hopkins?
Next, we move to reports, administration report.
Dr. Wilson?
Yes, sir. We have several things today. President Dominic, Commissioners, good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
We have a guest today, Ms. Jan Elkins from KTBS Channel 3, to say a few words to the Commission Board today. Ms. Elkins, would you like to come forward, ma'am? And good to see you.
Ms. Elkins, how you doing today?
I'm great, Commissioners, and good
Give us your
afternoon.
Name and address, please.
Jan Elkins, KTBS 312 East Kings Highway, Shreveport 71104. I just wanted to say thanks to the ladies and gentlemen here for voting for giving us money for the Independence Day Festival. It's going to be this Friday. We've got a great day planned, and We couldn't do it without your support and without your help, and so I just wanted to come by actually and say thank you. I think you all were given your VIP invitations last week, and I wanted to encourage you to come for that, if at all possible. We have this year several groups that are going to be participating with entertainment, including Windstorm. Then we also have B.J. Thomas, who's performing, then Rodney Adkins, and then Michael Love is going to be performing from Las Vegas after the fireworks. The fireworks will begin at 9:15 and will then end at 9:35, so we look forward to that. This year, for the first time, we have the Brookshire Steak Cook-Off, and that will begin at around 2 o'clock. The public can come and get some tastes of that from about 3:15 to 4:15. So then the VIP party is from 5 until 7, and of course that includes all of you all, and I just wanted to give you a personal invitation, but tell you again how much we appreciate the donation that you've given to us every year for the last few years, and how much it means to us that we're trying to grow the event, and you're helping us do that, and but I don't want to neglect the chance to come and say thank you personally. It means a lot to us. I think it means a lot to the community, and we cannot make it bigger each year without your support. So I just wanted to come by and tell you thank you. This is our 6th year. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but we do know that starting with the farmers market, early 30, you can come down, and then the last thing will be ending at about 11 o'clock. Because it's a Friday this year, we've already heard from the state cook-off groups who are coming in from out of town. They're going to be staying at our hotels. We know that because it's a weekend, they're going to be staying most of the weekend. So we're excited that we believe it is becoming a good economic event for all of us, not to mention a quality of life event for the community. So I just wanted to come and say thanks from the bottom of our heart. It means a lot to us, and we think it does from the community. We want you to come out, be a part of our VIP viewing. Any questions I can answer for any of you?
Commissioner Baker?
I just said, do the kids have to have one of those bands on?
No, ma'am. You mean for the VIP or for the children's area?
For the VIP or the children's area?
The children's area, as they walk in, Dr. Eric LeBlanc is doing the whole children's area. They will be given one so they can make sure they have gone to every event and they've not missed event. That's also where we're going to give out the free life jackets.
Okay.
So they want to make sure that the kids have that, because there will be some that come and go, and so they don't want to, they want one child to get several, but that child's already been there.
But
The
for the
VIP,
VIP,
the wristbands that you received that are the red, white, and blue with the stars on them, you should have received 2 of those for every invitation.
Okay.
That's what you'll need the VIP wristband for. That gets you in to get the hamburgers and hot dogs that Brookshire's will be cooking. Also to get behind the Barnwell Center to view the fireworks. We have about 300 or 400 chairs set up and some ice back there. It'll be a little cooler than for the regular public to see the fireworks, and that you'll need the wristband for as well.
Even children?
If the children are with parents who have the wristbands, they will be allowed in.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am. Any other
Thank you, Mr.
questions?
President.
Commissioner Epperson?
Jan, you brought everything, but you missed one thing. You bring the weather report?
Sir, we were in a meeting last week, and I called it up, and I passed it to George because I was not happy with what I saw. No, and it's the typical thunderstorms in the afternoon, and so we have started. Would you please pray again? And Michael, we're going to ask you to again say, and then when we say under God, we're going to say it loud, because we are praying we don't have a thunderstorm. But if we do, we will cover the tent, and the fireworks will still go on just once that passes. We do know that. We had that experience one year.
Commissioner Williams?
I just want to commend the independent facility program that you have. It's the backbone, the rubber of bringing people to family-oriented events. And surely we don't have enough of that. And I just want to commend you what you're doing to bring in thousands and thousands of people, families, to live in our hotel and play in our parks and be on the riverfront for a big old party. A 4th of July party, but we're promoting the spirit of America.
That's right.
Our men and women, our armed forces, our Independence Day, one of the best countries we live in, of our freedom. And we shouldn't take that for granted. Oftentimes we do on these streets here. Men and women put their life on the line every day to protect us so we can have the freedom and live in freedom the way we do. And we should celebrate it as we do, and I just want to commend you on that. got a couple of armed forces people here have served. We appreciate what you do, and I'm glad we can be a part of it. And it's very, very inclusive. You see from all walks of life there, so it's very diverse, and you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it, and we really couldn't do it without your all support. And again, thank you for the money that you've given us, and we hope to make you proud. If you have any way to make it better, we'd love to hear from that as well. But again, thank you all.
Just get a water machine, put the president in it, so we can hit it.
Yeah.
Every president of the commission need to get in that machine. We get that ball.
Wait a minute now, hold on.
That's a Duncan booth.
Dunking booth, yeah.
That's okay, we don't want to hit him.
I have to look out for the girls, you can't get in there.
Water machine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shouldn't discriminate at all.
That's right.
Okay,
That's it.
Commissioner Bowman's got a one.
Yeah, so sometimes it's a slap in the face to ever have to come up behind the great Commissioner Williams. So I'll just say ditto, but I do appreciate what you have done, and I have seen and observed like the difference and how each year gets better and better. And I'll always remember you how you were as one of my greatest bosses as well.
Chapter 3.
Thank you. We are on your side.
That's right.
Thank you all again.
Ms. Elkins, I would just say thank you for coming here and expressing your appreciation. It means a lot to us, and good luck, and hope to see you Friday.
Thank you all.
See you with that Dunkin' booth.
Yes, sir. Thanks again.
Put you in a
That's all your.
I'd like to continue.
Okay, go ahead, Dr. Wilson.
Okay, yes, sir. Commissioners, the administration is requesting approval on a resolution authorizing the Northwest Louisiana Council of Government, NLCOG, as a Louisiana nonprofit corporation and filing articles of incorporation, and also the bylaws and the resolutions I mentioned earlier. And the reason for this is a year or so ago, when we started discussing the 3132 highway issue, there was a lot of holes in our program in terms of an organization, the NLCOG, that was obviously there. And so the committee asked Attorney Jerry Jones to look at the how we were set up, and he did that. And as a result of his efforts, he said that we need to be set up as a 501c3. And you have copies of the articles of incorporation, and also the bylaws, and a resolution urging that you all allow me to sign this agreement to formally.
What is this for?
On the webpage.
We don't have any of that, Dr. Wilson.
What is this for?
It was sent to you.
Hang on.
This is for the NLCOG. Yes, it was emailed.
It's part of your agenda.
Okay.
You click on the.
Probably
blue.
have it.
How are they set up right now? They're not a,
Yeah, actually, the state statute prescribe how this regional NPO is to be established, but we needed more than just that to make it more functional. We needed to be a fully incorporated 501c3 organization. We're not for profit, but we do speak on behalf of the regional efforts of planning transportation needs for the region, and that includes Volusia Parish, Caddo, Sunday Shreveport, Volusia City, and also DeSoto Parish and Red River Parish.
What are they now?
Pardon me?
What are they now?
We are not a 501c3.
Oh, why you keep saying
hang on,
that?
please, listen, y'all get out of order. You're asking questions. I've got other commissioners that want to ask questions, so
Okay.
if you want to ask a question, please press your button.
Sorry.
I understand.
We sorry, man.
Okay. I'm just trying to get you in order.
Yes, sir, and I know I did anticipate plenty of questions, so I'd like my attorney to come forward, who's been helping me with this process. He reviewed all these legal documents, and we are prepared to answer your questions today. So, Mr. Henry, why don't you come on forward? Let's see if we can answer everybody's questions to their satisfaction.
Henry, I got 4 or 5 commissioners want to ask, and they're all wanting to know the same thing. Well, what are they organized under now, and why are we changing from what we were to a nonprofit?
NLCOG currently is an unincorporated association.
Set up by state statute?
Yes, the state statute and federal requirements like ICE-T, if you remember it's the Interstate Surface Transportation Enhancement Act, which was a number of years ago, all of which require there to be metropolitan planning organizations. And so the predecessor to NLCOG was that organization. It has been an unincorporated association Caddo, Bossier, Shreveport, Bossier City, and at one time Webster Parish functioned as an unincorporated association. And because of, as Dr. Wilson was mentioning, the controversy, also because the Federal Highway Administration came in and reviewed the contracts that NLCOG had with it and with the state, one of their observations was that they wanted NLCOG to incorporate. So that's the
You
genesis
have to get
behind this.
approval from each governing authority?
Correct. There is an identical resolution that's going to be adopted by the Bossier Police Jury, the City of Shreveport, and Bossier City.
Will the day-to-day operations continue
Correct.
to their, these bylaws that are basically?
Correct. It'll actually just be a transition. About the only difference will be what was called NLCOG will now be NLCOG Inc.
All right. Some commissioners have questions. Commissioner Epperson?
Do we provide any funding to them?
Yes, sir, periodically funding.
What about 2014 or 2013?
2014, yes, sir, we have funding because every 5 years.
How much it was?
I think it was $22,500, sir.
Okay.
And that money would be and that money goes to upgrading our maps that we use, aerial maps.
Okay.
So we all collectively put money into that every so often to update those things. But that happens maybe once every 5 years or so.
So we just do something every 5 years financially?
Yes, sir, in terms of the mapping.
That's mapping. We have a,
Pardon?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying that's mapping, but we have other funding that we provide. I don't have it off the top of my head.
NLCOG?
Yeah.
Okay, and we provided some in 2013 also? You
Yes,
recall?
sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
If you
have the
could you
number.
have that, could you have the information, the funding that we provided for the last 3 years back, 2014, 13?
Yes, sir.
12, okay?
Yes, sir.
Also, the board member makeup, are there any elected officials on the board member?
Yes, sir,
On both.
there are currently 2 elected officials. You have the Mayor Glover and Mayor Walker. And
Okay.
you
Well,
have,
what I'm specifically after, can any member of this body, if they so choose and have the time, any commissioner be a board member?
typically, sir, it is delegated to the president of the commission, but I've been attending a meeting in the president's stead. But typically, the head of that organization, the president, in this case, Bill Altimus attend the meeting for the police jury, and I attend a meeting representing the Cal Parish Commission.
But the articles will stipulate that?
Yes, sir, it does.
All right, if you would too, I'd like a hard copy, please, before I leave today, a hard copy of,
We can get that printed
all
out.
this. Okay, that answered on the board. All right, is there any possibility that, we might increase the membership, to another position, of a commissioner if he or she so desires? Can we increase the board membership?
I'm not aware of that. I know. Go ahead.
Commissioner, that would take the agreement of Bossier Parish, the City of Bossier, and the City of Shreveport to begin with.
Well, in essence, could that be incorporated into what we're doing now, since we're basically reorganized?
It could.
Well, if
I would think so. I mean, you're asking us to approve this, and I mean, we certainly would like some, input in there.
Well, the structure that's being proposed is a 7-member board of directors. There would be 4 directors, one from each of those 4 governmental entities, the 2 parishes and the 2 cities, and then there would be 3 board members representing the other parishes, the outlying parishes, Red River, DeSoto, Webster at times.
That's correct.
Has been represented, which are voted by the 4 standing directors, that is Caddo, Bossier, Shreveport, and Bossier City.
Right.
It would be possible, yes, sir, to increase it. I can't tell you whether or not the other 3 entities would agree. They would all have to agree.
Does the other 4 entities provide funding? If so,
Yes, sir.
what amounts for the same period? Could you get me that information also?
Yes, sir, same amount of funding, sir.
I figure if you pay, you ought to be able to play.
That's the idea.
Okay.
That's good.
Staffing. Okay, where are they in their COG headquarters? They have
Yes, sir.
an office?
They cross the street on Texas Street.
Okay.
And the Bar Association building on the 2nd floor.
Okay.
On Texas, right next to On Time
Could you
Fashion.
get me the amount of staff persons and their salaries and where the operational expenses derived from?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll get it for you.
All right, and finally, like I say, I'd like a hard copy of the of the deal. And now this is just my 2 cents. I would really like for us to kind of look at this a little bit more on a committee basis to kind of peruse what's going on here, since it's involving so many. Then this entity's been operating so many years previously. You know what I mean? So I think with it being restructured, we need to look at this and on a committee basis, where I think we can have a little more input on it.
Is this on the, was this trying to be passed for Thursday?
If at all possible, let me say this too, I don't think they would oppose a committee hearing this at all, because we can invite Mr. Jerry Jones to come and answer whatever questions you have relative to the ones that perhaps we may not be able to answer, as to why don't we expand the number of people. But I think they just wanted one person from each agency so the board wouldn't get so big.
Well, we represent, I mean, we represent all these parishes now. If we want to do it, let's do it right. You know what I mean? So let's put it all at the table now, where we can do it, and we can do it right. And found, I saw in yesterday's paper a couple of public announcements from NLCOG. One of them is say engage in the limited English proficient communities language access plan.
Yes, that was a federal requirement, sir.
Okay. All right, so, but I mean, with us not being revamped, that's okay for them to go forward with this?
Yeah, we have to do that by federal law.
Okay.
Because the demographics of the community is changing, and federal guidelines prescribe we have to address everyone, even those folks that are bilingual in our community.
Okay. And then got another notice of Title VI compliance. That's an NLCOG
Federal requirement.
Public comment.
It's another federal requirement.
Are we quite clear on the information that I'm requesting? Everyone?
Please make sure that, please make sure Commissioner Epperson, he's old school, he likes that hard copy. I think everybody, hang on one second.
Yes, sir. We are quite clear, and we'll make sure that it's quite
clear.
Let's do this. Can we all get hard copies of that by Thursday?
Yes, sir. We can print it out.
We will go ahead and send this to Policy and Procedure Committee. Todd, can you set that up for us? I think that's Stephanie's committee.
Yes.
And there was something about last month that we were supposed to meet with Policy and Procedures. I don't know if you ever got with her. I've gone blank on that issue.
It was the copying fee, public
Right,
copying fee.
So we need to, that committee needs to meet concerning the copying fees and this issue too.
The sooner the better for us.
The sooner the better. So if you can get with her maybe today or tomorrow.
I can save all my questions.
Do what? All right, I know we have a bunch of other commissioners.
I'm good.
Does everybody wish
You
to
can take me
speak?
off.
We've taken it off at this point.
Take me off. I'm good.
I still want to say something.
Okay,
Down
Commissioner,
further, but
let's see, does Commissioner
Don't miss
Baker,
Ms.
do you need to
Baker.
say anything? Commissioner Baker?
Couple of things, and I agree with Ken that this needs to go to committee, and then this is something we don't really need to be trying to rush into because of the fact that 501c3 now comes with a lot of little glitches and a lot of little, you better do right things, and I'm looking at Kent Rogers wanting to be the registered agent for this 501c3.
Yes, it is.
That means that we've got to have a lot of trust in him, that he's going to do everything that he's supposed to do to keep the 501c3 because of the fact that the federal government is requiring them quite a bit now for 501c3. It's like Ken asked about staff. I know one of the things that they're required is a form that you have to fill out every year with staff, with your
Well, actually, ma'am,
and all those
the
different things
people
like
that serve on the board of directors are the ones that the IRS will look to. Not Mr. Rogers, but the people on the board of directors are the ones that the IRS will consider responsible for complying with the 501c3.
Well, and I've never been involved in an actual government entity being involved with an organization, a non-governmental organization being a 501c3. So I'm really not kind of up to date on that, how that is.
Understand.
So, the reason why I'm saying that is because I know what I dealing with 501c3 in the federal government. And so I just want to know, I know they don't exempt us from anything because we're a government entity. I know they don't care who you are. But I'm just kind of want to know a little bit more about this and before I make a decision on saying yes. to
This really will not change anything on the ground, other than there will be a legal entity called the Northwest Louisiana Council of Governments, Inc. That's all that's really going to happen, is that there will be now a legal entity as opposed to what Mr. Dominic and I would call an unincorporated association. It will be a corporation.
Yeah, but when it becomes a legal entity, that changed the grounds for it. It doesn't, I mean, they're not, right now, because they're not 501c3, they're not required to do anything. But when they become a 501c3, then they have a lot of responsibilities that they have. So, and you know, with the parish being involved in it, I know it's other parishes that's dealing with it and being involved and got to say yay or nay, but with Caddo, I'm just speaking on Caddo Parish, I can't speak for everybody else, but I just want to know really what, and even I want to know what are we required as being an entity, a governmental entity of this 501c3 organization. That's what I want to know, that part. So, and I don't see that now. I just see the articles. It's about basically regular articles that everybody use. But as far as like what is our responsibility, that's what I'm kind of.
Well, actually, and to that extent, incorporating is a good thing, because as an unincorporated association, the entities have complete exposure. I think, you know, the president would agree that when you have an unincorporated association, you don't have that corporate entity that would respond. And so if there were to be a lawsuit against the an unincorporated association, they're going to be suing each of the entities themselves. Whereas at this point, if there were to be a lawsuit, not any expectation of one, it would be against the corporation.
See, those are the kind of things I was wanting to know.
Yeah.
Because
So
I know,
this is actually good from that standpoint. It's better
well,
than
and it does have perks because of the fact that if they're not incorporated, there are several perks out there for them to be incorporated that they can get involved with, and things that they can do, grants that they can apply for. But that was one of my concerns is if they were getting sued or if they were non-compliant with the IRS, you know, who do they come talk to? Do they talk to them? Or do they talk to the governmental entities that's a part of it? So those are some of the things that I'm trying to find out about. They have some very steep fees.
Of course, and believe me, having completed applications for 501c3 corporations in the past, you're correct. It's not a simple process anymore. But the NLCOG has been the conduit for federal funds for a number of years, and if there's any entity that watches very closely where the money goes, it's the federal government. So I suspect that the way they've handled their business in the past would meet the standards going forward.
Well, would you mind kind of giving us a little bit more education before we make this final decision, if you could?
It's going to a committee, so we'll have plenty of.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And will that be Thursday?
I don't know. Todd's about to get with our
We have a meeting already 2:30 Thursday, so we'd have to.
Well, is this like have to be done right now? Or is something else? I know y'all keep saying.
Yeah, they'd like to get done as soon as possible, but if there is a delay, I could communicate that to Mr. Rogers, Kent Rogers. And also, I think Mr. Jones is a board attorney. He can come and answer those questions too, because we have two attorneys at every meeting. And they're more than able, since they're drafters, to answer your questions.
Well, this is just a normal, everybody use this.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's all. Thank you, Mr.
Just let me know when the meeting is.
Okay, so just remind everybody we'll
We'll
have
have
this at a
policy
committee
here.
meeting to hopefully answer some questions. But Commissioner Lynn?
I'm with my fellow commissioners that I've heard. I'm very comfortable delaying this decision until we can send it to committee. One of the things I want to ask, though, will the bylaws be changing as well?
There are no bylaws.
Now, these are the articles of incorporation, aren't they?
There's also a set of bylaws attached.
Set of bylaws. May I have a copy of the original and the new ones? And do you have it set up where you have it crossed out what was being taken out and underlined what's being
There is
replaced?
no original. There was never any original bylaws.
And so they'll stick with the original bylaws?
No, there was never any original. This is
There
a
were
creation.
never any
How would they run it?
Hang on.
It was an unincorporated association.
Okay, and so they.
It would be like your neighborhood group that gets together, a neighborhood watch group that gets together. That's the structure that was there at one time. That's why they're trying to formalize it and have a corporation so that they can have that structure of articles
And
and
in the
bylaws.
original setup, the president of the parish commission was in charge, and then he gave his duties to the parish administrator, is that correct?
Well, I don't know the previous endeavor, but I think that's how it started, Commissioner Lynn.
It is.
Because those meetings about 3 hours at a time, and they're every month, and there are questions throughout the week. So if someone want to volunteer and free up my time for that, I'll be glad to.
But I mean, originally, though, the instruction was given to the president of the commission, and then the president of the commission then delegated that authority to the parish administrator.
They're a representative of those four governments, plus representatives in the past of either DeSoto or Webster.
In Article 10 of this incorporation, that power is given to Director Wilson directly, is given to Administrator Wilson directly without going through the president of the commission. Is that?
I think.
Yeah, the only reason why that was, Commissioner Lynn, is that we also chair these meetings like over 2 years, and the president of the commission rotates. Because I'm the president this year, also next year, because being the vice president of the committee, the executive committee, you step up to the president of the committee the next year. So with the commission president change as much as they do, there won't be no continuity on this board.
Or we could change that in the new set of bylaws or incorporated papers that we're proposing right now.
Like I said, I'm open to any change y'all want to make.
The officers, it shows that the board of directors, so these 4 people will choose the other officers of the board?
There are 3 positions that will be chosen by the 4 standing directors.
And so
as
it sits, it would be the president of the commission and these 3 people, and as this proposed, it would be Woody and these 3 people would get to choose the other 3.
Correct, and that would be representatives perhaps of DeSoto Parish or Red River Parish or
That's
Webster.
correct.
All are outlining Pioneer Parish.
Yeah. Whether it is the police jury president from Red River, their administrator, they'll be represented on the committee.
All right, that's all the questions I have for today. Thank you.
Ms. Frazier, do you have anything?
I just wanted to point out, and I'll talk a little bit about this more later, but we would probably need an ethics opinion for commissioners who would be interested in sitting on that board.
All right, so
Including the president?
I
mean, you said the president
used to do
already, so do you have an ethics opinion for that?
Because the commission does give them money on a yearly basis.
Well, the mayors do too.
There would be.
Hang on, please. Hang on, let Ms.
Actually,
Frazier.
I think the council appropriates the monies for the cities, so they don't have that issue. So, since the commission makes the appropriation here, you would need to get that signed off by the ethics board.
Make it so. Don't get me in trouble.
If we go with that AG opinion, I thought.
Now, this is a different one.
I thought Grove was gone.
It's not an AG's opinion. It's the ethics opinion.
I'm just messing.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson?
Okay, looking at the bylaws, it does says the president of the Caddo Parish Commission, but then the table says the administrator of Caddo Parish, and the same thing with Bossier Parish. So
that's good.
One part of Section 3 of the bylaws says that it's the presidents of the police jury and the president of the commission.
Yeah.
But then the initial board should be made up of the administrators of the police jury and the administrator of the Caddo Parish Commission. That's kind of.
Well,
It's one or the other.
and it's basically the president or the designee.
Right, but-
Because the
just needs
the
to-
two mayors,
It
the two.
needs to be cleared up. It says-
Okay.
Say that down here at the bottom, that the initial board members would be either the president of the commission or their designee, and not already making the designee the initial member of the board.
we had to set it up initially. You had to list who those members are. And being that so far I've been your designee, that's why my name's on there.
Okay. Well, I just still wanted to say designee and then put you on there.
Okay.
So then it flows right, because otherwise it doesn't.
Okay.
Contradicting yourself. You're saying the president of the commission,
Okay.
and then you had the administrator down listed as initial board member.
Okay.
Second thing is
Want that.
adding to what Ken requested, want the budget for the last 3 years of the
For the
organization.
alcohol?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, most,
That was on your list of budget?
I asked for the staffing and salaries
Right.
and
I
the
see
amount
the
of money that we had funded.
I want the whole budget.
okay, that's fine.
Also, the amount of money that Red River, DeSoto, and Webster Parish is putting into this.
Now, sir, the Red River and the Soda Parish is not currently on there.
Right.
They're being invited to come on there.
Okay. So, if they're invited to come on,
Yes, sir.
they need to have some type of dollar figure
That's correct.
to put into this.
That's
If their
correct.
dollar figure is 0, then this makeup of the 7,
No, that dollar figure is not 0. There's a number. We'll find out.
all right, find out that number for me, because based upon what I'm basically saying, in order to play into this game,
Yes, sir.
you gotta put some money up.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Baker, you back on?
Yeah, how long Bill's been on there?
I tried not to talk.
Bill Austin.
Bill Optimus has been on there, ma'am, for the last 4 years.
So was he on there when he was a
Yes,
police
ma'am,
juror?
he was, 'cause,
So if he's on there as a police juror, you see my point?
yeah, now he's on there as the administrator. He's no
I
longer
know,
a
but you
police
say
juror.
he was on there when he was a police juror.
Yes, ma'am, he
Because,
was.
he was a police juror before he just became just the administrator.
That's right, because they have a special exception in legislation for him to do both roles.
But he can be on the board as a police juror.
That's his friend.
Yes, ma'am, there was a special exception for him. That's why he's
I'm
able to
saying,
do it.
Ms. Fraser said we had to have an ethics opinion for an elected official to be on the board.
Okay.
Bill was an elected official on the board.
That's
We're not
correct.
worried about making
That's
Bossier.
what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am, you're
and that
right.
was-
I'm just alluding to what his request was.
You're right, that's correct.
But elected officials,
Hey, listen,
elected
guys.
Special exception given for him.
So I'm not through.
All right, well,
Okay, well, hold on then, like, tell me. Next is, one of the things, I would like to ask is something as important as this is, if we can get this before you all want that quick, vote, saying yay or nay. Because, this is something that I think we should have had whenever it first came up. Did it just come up this week?
Yes, ma'am, I just got it last Friday.
And they want us to make a decision the next week?
Well, in all fairness,
Yes, ma'am.
this is extremely routine.
Yeah, I got it Thursday.
This, as I said before, on the ground,
Who's routine?
in terms of the operation of NLCOG, in terms of what's on the ground and who's in the office and what's going to happen, the budget, one day to the next isn't going to change a thing, other than the name, other than the name that's on the door
Well,
and the name
being
that's on the
that you know
checks.
your commissioners,
This the first year we just.
if you could just,
Ma'am, I didn't anticipate, that's why Henry and I, we met this morning. I said, we're gonna have 1,000 questions today, so let's get ready. That's right, we anticipate that.
okay, well, that was all.
Okay. Anyone else?
Okay, is anybody else, this is going to be taken care of. A lot of your questions are going to be answered
In the
committee. God does perform miracles, because Commissioner Williams was on the board and actually passed, realizing it's going to be taken care of. Committee. It did not speak. It did not speak for 10 minutes. I did expect Commissioner
I
Baker to.
pinched him, that's why.
But always somebody take my place.
Yeah, Commissioner Baker took your place today. Commissioner.
Donnie, you had a question still?
Donna.
No, I was just going to point out that prior to the 2008 changes in the ethics law, it wasn't a problem for any elected official sitting on the board, but that's when we had those changes and things started moving around. We recently, and I believe Commissioner Epperson will go into more detail, got an opinion that cleared commissioners to be able to sit on Caddo Community Action Board. But in speaking with the young lady that's the attorney down there, they want to review the background for every board that you all would be looking to sit on before they sign off on an ethics opinion for it. It's very important to get those, because ethics violations are personal violations to you all that would end up in fines and fees that would have to come out of your pocket.
I know.
So you want, you want them to sign off on it before you make any kind of move.
Right.
So that's why you want to get that cleared and have a determination that it's not a problem. Don't change. Let's just take what I say.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, sir. I should.
does that conclude your report?
No, sir. I'd like to.
Lynn on the
You got
board.
some more stuff?
Yeah, I have a dissertation to give y'all today.
Go ahead,
All right,
Dr. Wilson.
Commissioners, I just want to make you aware that officially tomorrow we'll be getting Fort Wayne Correctional Facility back. And I did put at your stations a cost breakdown on what that cost would be to the commission going forward.
Where the money come from?
Okay? The money will have to come in out of the appropriate budget that has the money. And also, a young man came forward to give you all a presentation on recreational use of the facility. So we hadn't talked about what y'all want to do with the facility yet, but we've already started cutting the grass out there. There's been some vandalism that occurred out there because the state walked away and left it unsecured.
That's what happened.
So now we're trying to bring it back up to standard. So it's going to take some initial investment for money on our part to bring that back up because it wasn't our asset at the time. So tomorrow, we'll transfer all utilities. We'll have all the operational expense going forward to maintain that facility out there. Okay? And we do await your pleasure to let us know what y'all want to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
All right? But that was a good presentation to begin with. Also, Commissioners, you'll find at your station the proposed 2015 budget calendar handout. So please take a look at that. If you see any conflicting dates on there, please let us know so we can make appropriate adjustment. Otherwise, we're back in the budget business again, and we'll be in the full swing of it another month. Okay? So please let me know. The last item I have for you all commissioners is a legal update on a pending case that does not need to go in executive session, so I'll have Attorney Frazier bring you up to speed on that.
Commissioners, I just wanted to inform you that we were informed by the firm Davidson, Jones and Summers regarding the Chesapeake operating case. That was the concursus case we had, where basically Chesapeake put some money in escrow to determine whether the funds would go to us as the owners of road beds versus the city who had annexed those road beds. We had a favorable ruling in the trial court, but it was reversed at the Second Circuit. And we requested writs at the Supreme Court, but they denied that application. So we may need to have a short executive session on Thursday to determine what would be the next step in the lawsuit. But the Supreme Court has denied writs on this, so the Second Circuit ruling stands.
Okay, if we need to put that on the agenda Thursday, let us know, please.
Do we need a minute agenda today?
Okay, Mr. Johnson?
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dr. Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Just looking at one of your line items.
On the Fort Wayne.
We're gonna actually, Fort Wayne, we're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
actually pay somebody pretty much $25 an hour to go out there and look at the facility for an inspection.
The $25
That
out.
$300 line item, if you look at it in 12 hours per month.
Yes, sir.
$25 an hour.
That was a proposed security company to go out there and to monitor the facility more actively than us being able to go out there periodically. That right now is an option item we have not necessarily agreed to do, but we want to know what it would cost if we had to have someone out there guard the facility for us.
Okay. I know it's small change compared to some of these other ones, but
Yes, sir.
that all adds up
Yeah, 'cause-
eventually.
Yeah. 'cause-
And
yeah.
I'm quite sure somebody on staff could drive by.
Deputy
Sheriff.
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, we had 3 houses out there. Someone's broke in the house and stole some of the copper out of the houses. And we find out that someone putting corn seed around the facility for deer hunting. And those things we can't have.
Right.
'Cause
But if you got a regular security guard, they ain't gonna help you no way. You gonna have to have somebody that's armed guard, or armed law enforcement
Yes, sir.
agent, or
Yeah.
Burn it by.
Yes, sir. Just for your knowledge, the sheriff's department have made several arrests already out there. And it just goes to show you, people don't think no one's at home and he's showing up. doing things that is kind of malicious in their behavior.
Okay, then, I will ask, our president to make sure that the chairman of the committee that needs to handle this will have a meeting so that we can move forward in order to make, something happen out there so that we won't be out of about $79,000 a year.
Oh, no.
So if we could do something instead we had a good project, if not that, modify it some kind of way
Right.
that would offset these expenses.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's all.
All right, Commissioner Thibodeau?
Yeah, are we at the point now where we must take it over? Has the time run out on the?
Yes.
Yes,
on the
sir,
clock?
it is.
So
The
we-
time elapses tomorrow.
We have to take it over, we don't have a choice. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Lynn?
Thank you. No.
Dr. Wilson, are you actively marketing this with a real estate company, or is there anything that we're doing to put this out here, that this is available? I know that we had shown it to be a possible federal hospital.
Yes, sir, we showed it to.
Are we showing it to other people that have private prisons that might be able to use it for a private hospital?
No, sir, we haven't done that yet because it wasn't ours to do that. But we had a preliminary discussion with LaSalle's prison.
Right, I'm familiar with him.
and-
I'm the one who turned them on to you.
Right, and of course, you know, it was too small for their use.
Right.
And we haven't done anything since then other than looking at it recreationally.
Will you call them back again and let them know that we have full possession of it?
Sure.
And, I mean, are you able to call a real estate agent and list it or anything?
I just need to know, is that the will of this board to do that?
Let's let
Yes,
the,
sir.
we'll
I need to give me some directions on that.
one of our
Okay.
special projects committee or something to
Yes,
review
sir.
all this, and we can come up with.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Epperson?
Okay, and, yeah, we need to get it cleaned up a little bit. You know, we were
Yes, sir, we
talking
got-
initially, I was thinking maybe if the sheriff, you know, like he doesn't the sheriff let the inmates come out and
Yes, sir.
do trash off of the road?
Yes, sir,
We
we
could ask
do.
him to come out and get with some of our staffing to go out there specifically and clean that particular area up.
Yes, sir.
And also, you know, that's within the Eddie Jones Nature Park area.
Right.
We could also, we got all of that chain link fencing and razor wire.
Right, that's correct.
If need be, you could take some of that, move it up front and complete, because there isn't anything else in that we need to have to go in there, is it?
You know, sir, what we're going to
Nothing
do.
public that nobody have to go through, all that's ours, is
That's
it?
correct. What we're going to do, that someone ran through the fence, knocked the fence down,
Mhm.
going into the compound,
Mhm.
and we are going to go back and re-secure the fencing to keep people out of there.
Right, I understand. But what I'm saying is we could take that fence and bring it not just from the compound, but protect those houses, that major ingress, that goes in there. You see what I mean? Might could do something that way.
Yes, sir, but
But we certainly got enough fence. But we'll look at it in committee,
Yes, sir. That's
okay? And we at the point now, we questions of the administration, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Ms. Frazier, we got a letter dated May 22nd to the board president of the MPC stating about the Attorney General's opinion.
Yes, sir.
You know, I think we did a resolution from the commission as well as the city asking about having someone to help with the hiring process.
Yes,
That's
sir.
correct, sir.
Okay, and everyone saw the opinion? Okay. So, could we get an update from Mr. Jean as to where we are with the hiring of the
Yes, sir.
MPC director?
Yes, sir, Mr. Stevens, come forward, please.
Commissioner, I'm going to give you more of an overview today, and if there's anything that you need that I don't cover, please let me know, and we'll make sure we'll have it for Thursday. Basically, as you probably are aware, we started off with 47 applicants. The board narrowed it down to 19. They further narrowed it down to 10, and you probably saw that list that was published in the newspaper. Since then, 4 of the top 10 have taken other jobs, other positions. The board had narrowed it down to 5 to interview. One of those 5, and it was the same 4 that I mentioned a moment ago, one of the 5 took a position. So we're down to 4 finalists. Now, let me go ahead and read you who those are. That would be Robert Hunter from Plant City, Florida. Robert Massarelli from Titusville, Florida. Mark Sweeney from Austin, Texas. And Christian Schock from Williamton, Ohio. On Tuesday, July 22nd, there will be a meet and greet at the Hilton from 6 to 8 p.m. On Wednesday, July 23rd, there'll be interviews in this chamber at a time to be determined. And that's all I have for now, but I would be glad to take any specific questions. We have a staff member, sir, that was assigned, since we had internal candidates and me being one of them. We had a staff member assigned exclusively to the board, Ms. Diane Tullis, and she's been handling all the liaison work with them. And any questions you have about what happened during that process, any records or anything of that nature, we'll be glad to provide that for you, sir.
Ms. Frazier, since this letter came back, do we still need to exercise our option? Is there still something on the table?
Do you mean as far as?
Right, as far as what we requested on the resolution. They say the separate entities that appoints the board will make those requests.
Well, it said that if you wanted an Attorney General's opinion as to whether or not, I guess the question was initially if they had to allow it or the propriety of that, then this board would have to make the request as opposed to the MPC making the request.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe this is a question that's going out to us, Mr. President and the other board members. I think you had appointed 2 people, hadn't you? To go and kind of be a liaison. Was that related to that?
There was there was a couple of committees. Are you asking for this board to?
No, I'm just wondering what's our pleasure. But you know, this we don't have to bring it up today. But I'd just like to state, I would like to work cohesively with the MPC. We appoint board members, the city appoint them. And that's our objective, is to work as a team for the betterment of Caddo Parish and the city of Shreveport with those board members. So if any feathers was ruffled in the past, I think we should smooth them out and take a couple of steps back, and let's see what we can do. Stephen, you can relate this to, and I think I addressed the board, one of the MPC boards, that I am willing to work with the board, all the board members, as well as the president of the board and the executive staff of the MPC, so we can do everything that we possibly can to make sure that this board functions efficiently and properly and in the best interest of all the citizens of our parish and the city. So I'm through with that area in reference to that. So I just want to put that out there. So that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Couple we had announcements.
You're on the communiques and reports, committee reports. You have one?
Yes, sir. I just want to acknowledge and announce we had the Honorable Ms. Dorothy Brown here in our presence. She's the clerk of Circuit Court of Cook County, Illinois. Approximately around 5.2 million people. She have a $100 million budget, and she sees about 1,800 employees. She made a fantastic presentation and a press conference to our local stakeholders. There were some elected officials here, particularly the marshal and some representatives from the mayor's office. Representative Barbara Norton, who was here, who also served on the House of Representatives Criminal Justice Committee. I was excited for her to make her presentation to those that were interested in having a second chance in life. As we studied the code for juvenile code for Louisiana under the Act 9118, what we did learn in the provision in some of the paragraphs in the code that our juvenile records are not automatically expunged. So we have a lot of young men and women that's been going around with these records that's never been expunged. So we need to make sure that we address that in our particular communities. We know several people in our community particularly have records.
Right.
And they can't move forward because of their past upsetting their future. So not only our juvenile, but our adults as well. So I learned a wealth of information. And I hope that when I invite Juvenile Justice Committee to some, because you know I take care of business, I hope that people do come out and support what I'm trying to do, because I am trying to make a difference. I am concerned about the plight of all people, but especially those that need a second chance. And they're all people. Doesn't matter what color, race, or sex, or nationality you are. People need a second chance in life. And I was excited, and Commissioner Epperson was there, and Commissioner Lyndon B. And they was there, and I want to thank our administrator and Matthew was there. He came to the Happy Meal. I saw him a little bit at the meeting, but thank our administrator for help facilitating. His office did a great job, and our staff. This lady has an incredible resume. She graduated cum laude from Southern University with a master's. She also is a lawyer, got a Juris Doctor from DePaul, and also she's a CPA.
Yeah.
And she was born right up the road in Minden, Louisiana. A little old city like Minden, Louisiana. She went and made it big in a big city. So I'm excited about having people that come back and do big things for America, but right here in Louisiana. So I hope that we keep the momentum rolling on trying to improve the quality of life for people by giving them a second chance. So I'll be calling another meeting in the future. There is a DVD that was done, get to everyone, and I'll be calling a meeting, hoping having another, maybe a forum on expungement and giving the public awareness that people need about expungement and their record, because a lot of people assume that their record has been expunged, or when they get a pardon, a pardon is different from an expungement. I'm not an attorney, but I do believe misinformation has been floating around in this community. We need to set the record straight with our clerk of court, maybe have a public forum in the future at Praise Temple. Pastor, your pastor was here. So that'll be something. Let's plan together, you and I, Gerald, and Ms. Baker, and others who serve on the committee. Let's plan down the road a public forum on expungement and seal your records using the juvenile code and the law, the statutes here in the state of Louisiana. All right? Thank you.
Commissioner, I'm sorry again, I was tied up, had some other stuff going on that day. I know that you've been working hard on that Juvenile Justice Committee, so
yeah.
Appreciate you. Keep up the good work, okay? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes, just letting everyone know we'll have an NGO meeting Thursday at 2:30, and it's not to allocate any funds, it's basically to make a change in a proposal change to current policy.
What kind of change?
You'll find out at the meeting.
Good answer. Okay.
She got it all by herself today. She the only woman in the room now.
At 2 o'clock? Commissioner Epperson?
Once again, I think I heard where Moonbot Studios won another prestigious award or so, and I would hope that maybe we could invite them down where they could tell us about it maybe at our next work session or something. Because they definitely making a good track record. Good
Dr.
name
Wilson,
for
can you
themselves
get,
here.
you or Mr. Lucky get in touch with them to have someone come at our next work session? Yes, sir.
And also, I had the opportunity to go to the Good Time Rose Festival. And these two youngsters, Mr. Johnson and Mr. Wesley, had me up past 10 o'clock for the first time, and I bet you about 15 years.
I had a good time.
I must say that it's a lot of work, and I admire them for putting that on.
Yeah.
I had opportunity to go down there about 7 o'clock, and I watch them, and it's a lot of work. But the overall thing was the crowd and the people had a good time.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it was good.
And just think if they could spread all along that, what they call it, the Red River District.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think they got something they starting to go on the weekends now. But I commend you and Brother Johnson and Mr. Wesley. I think, what's your organization? The Omegas?
Well, it's Omega and Friends that put
Right,
it on
that
there.
put that on. But it's a lot of work, a lot of work. Got a lot of, accolades. I enjoy it. I even got up early. I was up early and went to church Sunday morning too. I wasn't late. Thank you.
Also, Mr. Chair, I'm on the board. I would like to acknowledge that I was also in the gentleman cooking class. All my pinto bean soup, and a relative of mine cooked peach cobbler. It all got ate up. I don't know if they were hungry. But then also Mr. Woodrow received an Extinguished Award, him and his, for, I don't know exactly what it was for.
Brother-in-law award?
It was called the brother, I call it the brother-in-law award, because his brother-in-law is the chairman of Southern, gave him the award. So,
But Commissioners, for the record, I've had teached a few classes over at Southern University for free, and didn't get paid for it. So I'm a proponent of education, y'all know that very well. So they did recognize my contribution to that effort, and I appreciate the support of those who showed up, but I think I was there to represent this entire body.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations.
Go ahead, Doc.
Also, I like the fact we represent our universities. LSU has been well represented in the past, how we funded the media program and how they're now over there at the Triangle Park. And our Southern University is a example of hard work, and one of the biggest projects they're known about is allied health. And it's very diverse when you see Southern University. That's a beautiful thing that we can see diversity and how diversity works. And what diversity say, there's room for everybody. If you want to compete, get a job, and work hard, it doesn't matter. What it said is come on aboard on this ship. We got an opportunity waiting on you in Shreveport and LSU, and we're moving forward ahead in Caddo and Shreveport. So whatever people are saying about the South, there's a new South, is not true. So I had a wonderful experience at the culture at the Good Time Road Festival. It was very well, nice attended. No violence, no violence. Clean, fun, good security, good food and fun and family. And if you know how to do, you like rock and roll or R&B, I don't know if they're gonna have country there next, but you want to get more in, have some country night. I'm just trying to help you guys. But anyway, I had a wonderful time. Had a wonderful time, and have a Cotton Eye Joe special. Thank you, man.
Just wanted to say that I was at the cook-off too, and problem was I apparently got there too late. Either your cooking was too good and it was all gone, or you didn't fix enough. I didn't get any of yours. Let's see. Commissioner Johnson?
Dr. Wilson,
Yes, sir.
MLK CDC presented you an award Friday at noon, so I accepted your award. I'll bring it Thursday.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you. I'm just blessed all over the place, huh?
I say your
All
brother.
right, Mr. Clerk, next item.
President's report?
Oh, the only thing that I had was, I think we just, I don't know if y'all have noticed, and I went to the visitation, was Mr. Owen McDonald passed away. He was a longtime member of the police jury, and I think he may have been on the commission.
The last
for a little
president
while.
of the police jury.
Last president of the police jury passed away.
The last
He
one we
was-
just had?
Caddo Parish.
He was on the Caddo Parish Police Jury, and he recently passed away. He was from Commissioner Smith's district in
Correct.
Keyville, if I remember correctly. So
That's correct.
I know that several of us were there and to express our appreciation to his widow. So
Might need to
keep
name a
them-
building after him or something. Got a
Keep-
building, put his name.
please keep them and their family in your prayers at this time. So.
Yeah, Commissioner Dominic, I want you to know that we sent a arrangement of flowers on behalf of the commission also to the family.
Thank you. I think that was a big gesture. And the next, that's all we had. Next item.
Have no old business, we move to new business. Authorized introduction of ordinance number 5407 of 2014 to accept the streets of Winwood Estate Subdivision, Unit 3.
Move it Thursday. Second. Moved by Commissioner Johnson, second by the chair. Move to Thursday, please vote.
Look on the board.
Oh,
I just have
Commissioner
one
Thibodeau?
question. Yeah, do these streets meet the requirements?
Come on up, Mr. Johnson. I mean,
I can answer.
Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass gave me the same answer.
Yes, these are all, this is a normal subdivision,
Okay.
and this after the 2-year bond limit, and we've already been inspected, and they're fine.
All right.
Thank you.
Please vote. One day. All right. That passes. The next item.
Authorize introduction of resolution number 32, 2014, authorizing organization of the Northwest Louisiana Council of Governments as a Louisiana nonprofit corporation and following the articles of incorporation with the Secretary of State.
Move to refer this to committee.
Delayed it to you.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Williams to move this to the committee. Please vote. Make y'all vote for Commissioner Williams speaks again. All right, that passes. Next item.
Authorize introduction of resolution number 33, authorizing the parish administrator to execute a lease agreement with the Caddo Levy District relative to Horace Downs Park.
So move.
Second.
Moved by chair, seconded by Commissioner Williams. Please vote.
Explanation on Saturday,
Come on up here, Robert. Stay close.
Thursday. Yeah, I'll wait there.
Ty, who's going to tell us about this?
Thursday.
This is the, I need somebody.
Forest Downs
Administration. Dr. Wilson, tell us about this.
We're gonna have Andre tell you about it, sir, because he's working it.
I know that this is the Horace Downs Park in my area. Obviously, this is just probably the standard lease agreement that we have every now and then with the levy board. Is it being amended or?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Every 3 years, we do it again for $1.
So we pay them $1.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we get the surface.
And the parking area, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
We have parking area, several grills, picnic tables. It's a nice area. Basically, they use it to go to other fishing area
Yeah.
on the 12-mile bayou. One of the stipulations that we did have was that we did have to do a boat ramp that we did on 12-mile bayou. Look further down. So everything is in order. It's basically turnkey, the same as we did last time.
Okay, please vote. That passes. Next item.
Authorize transfers of $17,000 from Words of Action appropriation to Persity Incorporated.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Bowman.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please vote. And that passes.
Authorize Caddo Parish Administrator to request a Louisiana Attorney General's opinion relative to organizations that are funded in part by public dollars or public or quasi-public organizations subject to the Public Records Act.
Recommend moving for Thursday.
Moved by Commissioner Apperson, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Is there any discussion? See none? Please vote. That passes. Next item.
Authorize reappointment of Ms. Helen Adger to the North Caddo Hospital Service District
Moved by
Board.
Chair.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Johnson. Please vote. That passes.
Authorize reappointment of Mr. David Nelson to the North Caddo Hospital Service District
Moved by the
Board.
Chair.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Johnson. Please vote. And there you go, Commissioner Williams.
They had a senior motion.
Commissioner Smith, we're missing you. Okay, that passes. And next item?
Authorize appointment of Mr. Jimmy Flournoy to the Pine Hill Water Works Board.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Williams. Vote.
I want to say something.
Okay.
There is a reception at BHP Billiton today, immediately after this meeting. It starts at 5:30. I think everybody here has been invited.
It had nothing to do with this.
I know it didn't, but I just wanted to let y'all know while I was thinking about that. Thank you.
Coming up.
Share live.
Try to get in.
Where is it? Since you brought it up.
Hold on.
Y'all
Let's
get it.
vote on this
Hey,
first.
guys.
Let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
vote on this.
Stick to the
Y'all
time.
get
We'll come to it. Everybody today is speaking out of turn.
You gotta use
Getting it over
your
with.
judge practice, man.
Yeah.
That's a parliamentarian.
Order the court.
He's in charge.
Okay, that passes. Next item.
Authorize Gary Lash, YMCA, as a visitor for regular session agenda to discuss community issues.
Moved by
moved.
Commissioner Epperson, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Please vote. That be Thursday?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And that passes. Next item.
Authorize Superman Blunt as a visitor for the regular
So moved
session
for
agenda.
Thursday.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Baker. We're going to put a man in town. Okay.
Yeah.
Please vote.
I've been bit so many spiders, call me Spider-Man. Shoot.
Where's the cocktail drink?
My back of my leg.
Consent agenda.
Passes. Next item.
Next, we have consent agenda.
Okay, we do have the consent agenda. Now, Commissioner Lynn, could you tell us one more time what's going on, please? I had some questions.
There's an announcement between BHP Billiton and the YMCA today at the Billiton headquarters. They're having an announcement. It starts at 5:30. They invited us all to be there late and just come immediately after the meeting.
Okay.
And it's on Preston and 9th Street.
All right.
That's too far. Okay, it is 5:30? So see, that's why I put him down. He told me 3:30. And I told him, wasn't no way. I said, we start at 3:30.
Right.
That's what Mr. Lash told me.
Start at
Okay.
3:30.
Start at 3:30? Okay.
So start at
So that's
3:30?
why he
Yeah, that
wanted to
sounds
come, because that's why he wanted to come Thursday.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We are adjourned.
Leave my.
I think they're in your box.
Now I got to go be the person. Yeah. I know. It was not the